Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Chad here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today we have another Gun Gripe episode for you. This one is a doozy. You're going to want to take a seat for this one. This is gun community hallway monitors.
Oh boy.
All right, I'm pretty sure you understand where this one's going to go. We're going to talk about people that, get into every little tiny, complain about everything, and trust me, it's going to be interesting. All right. Before we get started, I want to thank our friends at Arkin Optics for supporting today's Gun Gripe. They have some awesome, ruggedized, budget-friendly optics, veteran-owned and operated company. Also, the gentleman that designed these optics is former Navy SEAL sniper, really good guy. He really knows his stuff, and we've done a lot of videos on these optics. We've been beating up on them, torturing them, and they're holding up really good. And I think for the money, they really do offer a great optic for somebody that wants a great tactical optic at a budget price, but without sacrificing quality. So check out some of our videos on them, Arkin Optics, and tell them we sent you. All right, so we're going to dive into this one. All right, and it goes into a couple of different areas and everything. And look, I just want to preface this video by saying that I do feel it's very important for people to provide solutions, right? To be, as Maj Toure would say, solutionaries, right? So we come up with solutions. It's okay to recognize that there's a problem, but it's also important to pose solutions. So we're not saying that, let's just say, how many episodes of Gun Gripes are we in now? Over 300 episodes or something?
310.
So we've been doing a lot of Gun Gripes, right? And in the world of Gun Gripes, yeah, we complain about a lot of random crap. And some of it's like really general stuff that we all just sort of, grinds our gears or gets into our nerve center a little bit. And then some of it is more political and legislative
and specific
type of stuff. Yeah, specific things that we should certainly be, complaining about. And then some of it, yeah, we might kind of pick at certain groups of folks in kind of a fun way, in those sort of ways that we all collectively do it, right? Where we say, oh, well, the Fudd community or the tactical mall ninja community. I mean, whatever, right? What this video sort of dives into when we talk about hallway monitors, what do you think of when you think of the school hallway monitor, right? How would you describe that person?
So that person's walking around, their pants up and stuff. They got their little pocket protector and all, little goody two shoes, right? Walking down there.
What are you doing out of the classroom? Do you have a hall pass?
Right.
I don't see that hall
But they
pass.
usually have like the little thing that says hallway
the
monitor,
banner,
or the badge that says hallway monitor.
That's their license to monitor.
Yeah. Yeah. It is crazy.
Nosy people who need to mind their own freaking business.
Yes. So in the gun community, all right, we see this all the time in the gun community, right?
I'm gonna get coffee all over this.
That's all right. But think about it, all right? In the gun community, when you deal with people, like what would be a hallway monitor in the gun community?
Right.
Someone that goes, I'm going to write the ETF a letter, and I'm going to say, can I do this?
If I put this thing up to my face, is it still legal? I don't really know.
Yeah.
Can you give me some guidance?
That's the thing. Or like, if you've ever been out the range before, all right, say you go to a public range, all right, and you have your NFA item. Say you've got, well, a lot of ranges won't let you shoot machine guns, but let's say you have a suppressor or a short-barreled rifle or shotgun or something, and you show up to the range and you're just minding your own business, shooting your gun, and like one of the ROs at the public range walks up to you and goes, you have paperwork for that NFA item?
Yeah, not even one of the ROs. Just someone else who might be there shooting instead of minding their own business, literally staying in their lane.
Yes.
They walk over to you and they concern themselves with whether or not your firearm is legally acquired and has the proper tax stamp affixed to the paperwork, and whether or not you have that paperwork affixed.
Let me tell you something. Mind your own freaking business. Okay?
Look,
it ain't none of your business.
Look, all right, I will say this. From a legal perspective, when it comes to NFA stuff, the only individuals who can legally request that you provide that paperwork is an ATF agent. Not even the police are, have the authority to technically require that paperwork, but it is in your best interest to provide it. But I am not going to show my paperwork to some range Nazi. There's no way in heck that's happening.
That's right. And I think what a lot of this comes down to, this mentality, when you get the people in the gun community that they just, you know, and I hate to say like the Fudd mentality, but like you get into like the real Fudd-like people that are like, well, you know, I got my granddaddy's old hunting rifle and I got my double barrel shotgun and I got my 1911, but why do you need an AR? Mind your own dang business. It doesn't matter. Like, let people exercise their rights how they want, right? How hard is it to just be pro-gun, generally pro-gun, right? Just holistically pro-gun, right? Like, if you're going to be a gun guy, I mean, to me, like, you should enjoy shooting, you know, a black powder single shot just as much as you like shooting a machine gun. I love shooting everything. I love cannons. I love black powder. I love flintlocks. To me, it's just, I like guns, period. Like, I'll shoot air rifles, I shoot black powder, I shoot center fire, obviously, everything, right? 22, rimfire. You know, I can appreciate the same person that wants to go out and do some upland bird hunting, fancy pants, lodge hunting or whatever. That's fine. Do your thing. But I can also appreciate the guy that wants to go out and rip out, you know, 1,000 rounds out of his bump stock every day. That's okay. Like, we can all do our thing. So, again, getting into that hall monitor mentality, like, just let people do what they want to do and you do you. Like, again, mind your own dang business, okay?
They're creating a situation that never needed to exist in the first place. Another example would be, okay, like most public ranges, right? They have a, like, rounds per minute limit, right?
Oh,
like,
yes.
No more than 1 round per second or whatever the case is. And you're going to have the guy...
Get on the little thing. No rapid firing.
Lane 10, you're firing a little too quickly. You need to slow down, please. All right, but you're gonna have the people out there, you know, not with their phone with the chronograph on it. They're gonna have like an old school like track chronograph.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're gonna do the math. Like, oh, sir, you're firing exactly 1.03 rounds per second. I'm gonna need you to slow down there, bud. Okay.
Yeah. And it's always like there's a certain type of person in the gun community that they're literally just sitting there waiting for you to do something that they can call you out on.
Oh, man.
I think it's unhealthy.
It's like the same thing with like the Twitter.
It's toxic.
It's like the Twitter mobs. You know,
Yeah.
It's exactly the same kind of thing that happens on social media. You post one little thing, whatever, and then you got this mob of people that come out and they just want to badger you and attack you over nothing. Like, what does it matter?
Well,
I mean,
every interest group, no matter what end of the political or sociological spectrum they might be on, right? No matter what end of the side of the fence they might be on, everyone has their groups of folks that they sort of get into, and they all argue amongst themselves. And sometimes social media in general is and can be a very healthy thing, because you know there is a great mass of information, and it's cool to stay in touch with people that you like, and to meet people, and to fall into your like-minded groups and everything. So that is cool in that regard. But it also sometimes creates a very toxic environment, because sometimes our own communities can be our own worst enemies, where, you know, everyone has a different view about how something should be handled, or how something, you know, should be, right? Or to what degree that they think that, like, for instance, the gun community, what degree they feel is pro 2A enough or anti 2A enough, right? You've got some people that are only pro 2A enough to do activity A through B or C, but then you got folks, I'm extremely pro-gun to where I want, you know, all the way up to tow missiles. So it's like, you're not going to get everyone to agree on every single thing. And while social media and things like YouTube and videos and our ability to reach each other as people, we are social creatures by nature. So yeah, we want to know what each other's up to, but we're also very opinionated. And when you get people into their little cults and their little followerships and everything like that, there tends to be this moment where we feel like we have to interject every little tiny opinion, and if this person disagrees even the tiny little amount, he's simply an outcast and he's put outside of the circle. And I think it's a very healthy way to approach, let's just say in this situation, the gun community. Do you. Just do you, right? Like, if social media didn't exist and you didn't know everyone else's opinion, you'd still have your own opinion. You would still do things the way that you wanted to do it. You'd live your life the way you want to live it. You would own whatever guns you wanted to own and not what you didn't want to own. And you wouldn't go to your buddy at church and say, oh, I found out you bought an AR-15. I can't be your friend anymore. Think about it. In person, if you've ever talked to somebody, we'll go back to Fudds. How many Fudds have I ran into in person? All right, let's just say doesn't know who I am, doesn't know about the YouTube channel, doesn't know about social media. Maybe they're not even engaged in social media at all. They're just a dude that happens to be a gun owner, right? How many have I ran into that have ever said, oh, well, I think lowly of you because you own a machine gun or you own a suppressor or you use the Second Amendment in a way that I don't. You know how many people do that? None. In person. But it's just because of the shadow of the internet that allows you to hide in the shadow and spit your mouth off on the internet. People get bold and they want to throw out all these crazy things. And I just don't think that's reality. I think it creates a false sense of reality and people just tend to attack each other. And the Second Amendment community is almost one of the worst ones about eating their own.
Yep.
And it's that hallway monitor mentality that comes into play.
So I like to think of like social media and the internet as a whole as like a giant dumpster fire that's always perpetually burning. It just, sometimes it gets fanned and then flares up and then just goes back down to embers for a little while. Then it gets fanned again and it's just always on. I mean, it's like a pilot light, right?
Yeah.
All right, but look, all right. Hallway monitors are one thing. Much ado about nothing is another.
That's another end of it.
So this is just one example. And I can only just shake my head.
One example in a sea of examples.
All right,
a vast ocean of examples.
I was at my local gun store the other day. All right, so I was just hanging out at the local gun shop. And they sell suppressors and FA items and things like that. You know, I'm just hanging out, looking at a few things. I went to purchase a couple of items, and I'm just, chewing the fat, like usual. Okay, that's what anybody does at a gun shop. They always chew the fat. Like, hey, man, that's a cool gun. Let me check that thing out. All right, Gets a phone call, all right? Guy behind the counter gets a phone call from one of his brand new suppressor owners. Hey, the engraving on my suppressor doesn't match what's on the form. Well, how do you mean? Well, the manufacturer name is different. Well, yeah, the manufacturer on the form is who makes it. There's many manufacturers that produce, suppressors for other companies as well. It's called OEM, right? But it doesn't match, and I don't think this is right. Can you call somebody at the ATF and make no? There's no need to call somebody at the ATF. Your form is fine.
So that's a manufacturing variance is what they call it?
Yes,
like a marking variance?
Just for example, all right, dead air, for example. I'm just throwing this out there. This is just a pure example. All right, dead air. All right, they're made here in Georgia, in Norcross, by a company called KGM, KG Made. Right. So the name on the sign outside, the doing business as, is KGM Technologies. Correct. But the name on the form, all right, if you do a form 3, to transfer between dealers and things like that, and you do a form 4, it's going to say dead air / KGM / BP. All right. So it's going to have a different name on the form than what is listed on the can in entirety. But some manufacturers, like, for example, like CMMG doesn't make their own suppressors. Another company does. So the name on the form is going to be another company, but the name on the suppressor is going to be CMMG. All right? That kind of stuff happens all the time in the industry, and it's nothing to be concerned about because the form was approved at the ATF. So you're good. Stop concerning yourself with it and making much ado about nothing and move on with your existence. But that happens more times than not. It's just like, dude, what does it matter? Like, the ATF boogeyman isn't going to pop out of the closet and be like, hey, let me see your form right now. I mean, like,
lift up the roof and look in. Look,
jeez, people.
That initial brace fiasco over the whole, you're shouldering a brace. All of that came from someone just not minding their own business, right? Sometimes you're better off to just let something disappear and go away. Like, the more times you revive it, you're giving it a few extra chest pumps and it gets a little life and it gets back up.
Man, we've got so many questions.
Sometimes you got to know when to just let a sleeping horse lie and just just do you. Don't get into everyone's crap all the time. And, we find many of ourselves, guilty of that in some situations, right? The 2A community can, in some cases, be rather toxic and rather finger pointing in nature. And
right.
That's not healthy. But, it's not just like the gun world. Every single, facet of our society has the same type of thing, whether it's musicians and like the music world, you got the music gear guys that everyone thinks that my brand of this, guitar amp is better than yours, or, oh, if you play that company's guitars, you're a dummy or you sound bad. I mean, look,
all right.
Everyone wants to argue about this or that. Even so on our guitar channel, I got Guitar Arsenal. We do like our gear reviews, shameless plug.
Ding!
But on our Guitar Arsenal channel, there was one guy, or a few people actually, left comments that said, "Oh, you're doing a Gibson guitar review. You're wearing a Fender hat."
Dude.
So what? Mind your own dang business, man. Who cares what freaking hat I wear?
Look, man.
I've even in the gun world. Oh, you're
Look.
wearing a CMMG shirt and you're shooting a Geisley rifle. Oh, it's like mind your own dang business.
The thing is, man.
Who cares?
I think that people these days, they just love drama.
They do.
And I don't understand it. Like, I don't have time in my life for that nonsense.
This much time.
I mean, no time. I have negative time for that crap. I don't have any iota of a sliver of a microsecond in my day to deal with that crap because it is no concern of mine. I just don't concern myself with it. Yeah. All right, look, another example. And most of the time this is okay because you try to educate somebody on the nuances of, for example, manufacturing and FFLs, SOTs, and things like that. All right. So many times, like, is that legal? All right.
Oh, man. I hate when people say that.
That's the other thing, okay? Is that legal? All right, so...
this gun's not registered to me.
Look.
What?
We are an 07, which is a manufacturer. We have an SOT, so we can play with NFA stuff. So we make things because it's fun, and we do it for the entertainment, for you guys, okay? But
totally not because we want to.
We make it all. It's all for you guys.
Yeah.
But
it's only for you, not.
But it gives us the ability to play with some cool stuff that makes good video, right? So we post things, all right? And it's like Eric, I saw that shotgun barrel off the other day. Filed a Form 2 on it, serialized it, engraved it. No big deal. Ooh, you can't do that. Like, well, yes, we can because we're a manufacturer.
I love triggering people.
It's like, let me explain to you what this process is like and how it works. And I'll usually DM people about this because they're so concerned with it. And I try to educate people.
Yeah.
And they do not accept the knowledge. They will not. They willfully refuse it. It's like, I don't believe what you're saying. I'm like, dude, okay, bye.
It has.
That's it. See,
it has become a new hobby of mine.
God,
I quite enjoy posting things that are habitually on the line, if not crossing the line. And I find myself enjoying crossing the line, but only in the way that when I cross the line, I know that I'm in the right, and that it's just going to trigger people. And look, it's okay to get folks riled up a little bit.
I want a shirt.
But I'm not a hallway monitor. Okay.
I want a shirt. Matt, if you're listening, I want a shirt that has John Cleese in the Ministry of Silly Walks, making his giant stride, and I want to say, habitual line crosser.
Yeah.
All right?
It's true.
Because that's what we do, and we enjoy it. But that's the thing, though. You try to educate somebody, and even though what you are stating is factual, and it is... it's the truth of the matter. Like, hey, this is completely legal to do if you have XYZ license and things like that. You can do this, whatever, no big deal. I can 3D print auto sears, and engrave them and use them, right? So it's fun, but you can't do that. That's illegal. Like, no, sir, it's not illegal because XYZ reason. It's still illegal.
I think a lot of it comes down to, just people's intention, our intention with putting out videos and content, and really, this video is a great way for us to even just have retrospect of what Gun Gripes has been. And we're over 300 episodes in, so this is good retrospect for us to look back on it. It's all about intention. So if your intention is to educate people and to try to make them a more well-rounded gun owner and to make them understand holistically how important their rights are and how important it is for us to be ambassadors to the shooting sports and to personal defense and everything, hunting, all of that. It's all about the intention. So if the intentions are pure, well then, yeah, it's okay to go off on the rails and get into some of these concepts like we've done in all these gripes over the years. And yeah, some would even argue that over the years we've been toxic or that we've, unfairly moved the needle in certain directions on certain situations. And it's not to say that that hasn't occurred, but I guess another factor for this would be the sky is falling mentality.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
The sky is falling mentality. This is another hallway monitor tactic. Would be someone that, thinks that, they hear one little tiny thing going on and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, we have to rush out and buy this, buy that, do this, do that. The sky is falling. It's the end of the world as we know it. REM starts playing and it's just, that's it, right? They have no guts. They have no courage to go, you know what? The sky isn't falling. We're going to face this and we're going to head this up. We're going to donate to FPC. We're going to donate to GOA. We're going to contact our reps. We're going to get our grassroots base fired up and we're going to make things happen. This is not the end. We are not pushed into a corner. We are going to get together and fight as a community and make things happen for the betterment of all of us, for all gun owners. Even if it's a gun owner that disagrees with me, that doesn't even like me, even if it's somebody that doesn't agree with my politics or who I am, it's okay. Because the Second Amendment is something we hold in higher regard than even our own selves. It has to. It's the ultimate, common denominator that we all have to have. It's the equalizer, right? God made men equal. God
made men. Colt made them equal.
Samuel Colt made them equal. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Something along those lines.
But that's the concept is that people are so quick to give up. Oh, the sky's falling. You know what I mean? And I think that is very much a hallway monitor tactic. So, we've been thinking about this video for quite some time, and there are so many instances that we could get into, where people just make a big deal about what is essentially nothing. We've even been guilty of it in some situations. Human beings generally can be very emotional people, and sometimes it's easy to establish an emotional response to something that you need to be approaching a logical solution to, right? We're all guilty of it, right? When someone feels like their life is in danger, their rights are in danger, their way of life is in danger, it's easy to go, oh my God, the sky is falling. Chicken Little complex, here we go. It's the end of the world as we know it, whatever. But we have to be logical. We have to always look at things under the lens of logic and facts and science. And we have to look at it under the lens of the law, right? We have to use these brilliant legal minds that we have, like the team at FPC, the team at GOA, right? These guys are doing great work, okay? We have to use those minds to help further our cause collectively as a whole. And the more people we bring in and the more people that we invite in, because we're an inclusive group of people that want folks all to be protected and to arm themselves, the more people we bring into that situation, the more we grow our overall collective influence as a advocacy group, right? Like, the gun owners of this country are and of themselves advocates for what they do. That's what people do. When they like what they like, they want you to like what they like. But it's not just that. It's much, much deeper because it involves our rights. It involves life and death, personal protection, potentially the state destroying you, right? So those are pretty important things. We're not just talking about, hey, you should like my brand of golf clubs because this is a golf club I use. This is completely different. So I think there's a seriousness that has to come along with it,
Yeah, we've kind of talked about it in previous videos, but I don't really know if it's like in the vein of this video or not, but gun snobs and things like that, like, oh, you shoot XYZ gun? Well, I shoot ABC gun, it's way better. People can't just have a conversation about anything, especially on the forums. They're like, I used to play around.
I do think people troll.
They do.
They just try to get a rise out of people.
I used to play around on forums and stuff, but it's like the same mentality goes with video games. Like, I used to love playing video games, but I do not have time. Forums, I do not have time. No. There is no time in the day for me to hang on forums and stuff anymore. But like the forums sometimes are toxic. And the best thing that people can do is if they see some nonsense over there, like, sure, you got a few minutes. It's like, hey, that's wrong. This is correct. Here's the knowledge. Accept it or don't. And then let the dumpster fire ensue and then walk away.
I played a video game one time.
One time? Just once? Here we go. I think he needs a little refresher, man.
I know, he's looking a little rough. That tattoo's probably about 14.
Don't show your age.
12 years old.
You're showing your age, man.
Anyway, I do too. I enjoy video games, but very much like when you become an adult and you've got tons of responsibilities and you're doing all kind of filming all the time like we are, I don't have as much time to play as I'd like to. But I do enjoy video games. I like the BioShock franchise. I don't want to get off on this tangent because then we're going to create the same exact situation we're trying to avoid where we go, oh, my game's better than yours.
This is like in Loki. Like, I watched Loki with my son, the new series or whatever, and they have those alternate timelines. We're branching off. We're here. This is the gun gripe line. This is the topic. But then, like, when everything goes haywire, that's how our videos go all the time. Like, they look like, oh my God, what's happening?
Yeah, we need to rename this series ADD Gripes because that was totally we're some no-focusing people. I will mention that I've had a few of our viewers actually tell us, hey, you guys need to have some show notes and have a little bit more organization. We hear you. We're going to try our best, especially on the political topics where we need to really just get into the beans and bullets and get to it. We will try to, to make that happen. So this video really has been retrospect on what Gun Gripes has been, what it will be. I think we're definitely going to keep the series going, and I'm going to try to be mindful of the advice that I just tried to impart in this video. We want to be constructive. We want to construct, not destroy. And we want to build minds. We want to build culture. We want to build advocacy. And I believe those things are very important. It's very crucial that we not allow the jewel that is the Second Amendment to become tarnished. So keep that in mind. And when someone's being a hall monitor, just ignore them. And if you are one of them hall monitor types, mind your own dang business, No one cares. We ain't got time for that crap.
They're watching these videos right now and dislike.
Yeah. Hit that dislike button. That's okay. It helps. The dislikes fuel the algorithm as well.
I'm gonna open up 10 more tabs and log into my other accounts, and I'm going to dislike this video more.
That's all right. Hey, trolling can be fun for some, I suppose. And look, you want to be a troll, be a troll. That's okay, I suppose. But we are on the boat that is traveling to the land of freedom, and we would very much like for you to come along and maybe grab a paddle, and let's work together and let's paddle the boat towards Freedom Land. And we'd love to have you on the ark.
Now, man, I got to get there a little faster. I'm going to have about 175 horse on the back of that John boat, dude, to get me where I want to go.
That's right.
Right.
All right, guys, look. We appreciate you watching today's video. We hope you understood this, little humorous poke at a few things, but we're trying to be constructive, just like we always are. But thank you very much for watching. Look, you guys have a great week, and ladies, if you're watching, I don't know. I think our viewership's like 98% male, and then like the 2% of females are ones that like accidentally click the video by mistake.
Maybe those females are the ones that have been watching my hair grow or something.
Oh boy!
Don't tell my wife.
We really appreciate you watching. Big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters for supporting Gun Gripes. You guys are awesome. Also, go over to Ballistic Ink, pick yourself up a snazzy t-shirt.
Come on, man. Get your roof Korean.
Get your roof Korean on or whatever. We got a ton of shirts over on Ballistic Ink. So if you want to support the channel, go pick you up some merch, and we greatly appreciate it. Many more videos on the way, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
See you guys.